Good day, my dear students. Welcome to our video lesson in mathematics. I am Teacher Jules saying, kung gusto mong umangat, magmat. Today's topic is all about geometric means and geometric series. These topics are just a continuation of our topic last time, which is the geometric sequence. Okay, so first we are going to define geometric means. The terms between any two non-consecutive terms in a geometric sequence are called geometric means. The numbers a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub n minus 1 are called geometric means between a sub 1 and a sub n. Now suppose m is a geometric mean between two numbers a and b, then a, m, b forms a geometric sequence so that m over a is equal to b over m. Or we can say m squared equals a times b. Now we obtain this because we cross multiply this one. Okay? So m times m will give us m squared and a times b will give us ab. Okay, so let us try to consider the first example. We want to find the geometric mean between 3 and 12. Now, if we are going to represent b or a equals 3 and b equals 12, then by using the equation a over m equals m over b, then we have this equation. 3 over m equals m over 12. Or if we are going to rewrite that in this form, 3 over m equals m over 12. Okay, m over 12. Then we have now m squared equals 36 because we just cross multiply m. So m times m will give us m squared, and then 3 times 12 will give us 36. Then after that, if we are going to get the square root of both sides, so we are given m equals 6. But in fact, this is plus or minus 6. So therefore, the geometric mean between 3 and 12 are negative 6 and positive 6. So there are two values for m. So if we are going to list down the geometric sequence, we have 3, 6, and 12. Or we have 3, negative 6, and positive 12. So therefore, our final answer are 6 and negative 6. Okay, example number 2. Insert two geometric means between 3 and 192. So it means that we are going to insert two terms between 3 and 192. So if you notice, we have four terms all in all. So we can represent now a sub 1 is 3 because the first term here is 3. And the number of terms, as I've said, we have four terms already. And the last term is 192. Now we are going to use this formula, a sub 4 equals a sub 1 times r n minus 1. So if you remember the formula for the geometric sequence, we have a sub n equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. Since we have four terms, so we represent it a sub 4 equals a sub 1 r raised to n minus 1. Then we substitute the values. So you are given 192 equals 3 times r raised to 4 minus 1. Okay, raised to 4 minus 1. Then we are going to divide 192 by 3. Okay, so if you have 192 divided by 3, so it will give us 6, so 18, then 12, then 4. So you are given 64. But we know 64 is just equal to 4 cubed, because 4 times 4 times 4 will give us 64. So therefore, you are given r cubed because 4 minus 1 is r cubed equals 4 cubed. And then after that, we get the square root of both sides. So therefore, r equals 4. So therefore, the common ratio here is 4. That means the two geometric means between 3 and 192 are 12 and 48, because 3 times 4 is 12, 12 times 4 is 48, and of course 48 times 4 will give you 192. Okay, so the geometric sequence is 3, 12, 48, and 192, and the two geometric means inserted between 3 and 192 are 12 and 48. Alright, so I would like you to try this problem. Find the geometric mean between 3 and 27. So in this particular problem, we need to insert geometric mean between 3 and 27. So we assume that this is A and we assume this is B. So you are given A over M equals M over B. So by substitution, you are given 3 over M equals M over 27. And then if you're going to cross multiply, so this will be M squared equals 27 times 3 will give us 81. And if you're going to get the square root of both sides, so if you get the square root of M squared and the square root of 81, the result is M equals plus or minus 9, because the square root of 81 is plus or minus 9. So therefore, the geometric means is negative 9 or positive 9. So if we are going to write the geometric sequence, we have 3, negative 9, 27, or 3, 9, 27. So therefore, our final answer here is negative 9 or positive 9. Okay, so next problem is we want to find the geometric mean between 4 and 25. So the same process, we assume A 4, B is 25. So 4 over M, or 4 divided by M, equals M divided by 25. And if you are going to cross multiply, eto, cross multiply natin yan, then we have M squared equals, so 4 times 25 is 100. And then we get the square root of both sides. So the resulting value is M equals plus or minus 10. So therefore, the geometric mean is negative 10 or positive 10. So this is your final answer. If you are going to list down the geometric sequence, we have 4, negative 10, and positive 25. Or you can say 4, 10, and positive 25. So these are the geometric sequence that can be formed. Okay, and then the geometric means between 4 and 25 can be negative 10 or positive 10. Okay, so next problem, we want to insert 4 geometric means between 2 and 64. That means we are going to insert 4 terms between 2 and 64. So first term, second term, third term, fourth term, and then the last term is 64. That means that the number of terms are or is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 terms here. And then the first term is 2. The last term, since we have 6 terms, so a sub 6 is 64. So we need to find the common ratio in order to insert geometric means. Okay? So we do not know the common ratio. So we use the formula a sub 6 equals a sub 1 r times n minus 1. Then we have 64 equals 2 times the common ratio is not given, so you are given r. And then n is 6, so 6 minus 1. Then we are given 64 equals 2 times r raised to 5. But we can divide both sides by 2. Ito rin, divide by 2, and then we can cancel this. So therefore, you are given r raised to 5 equals 64 divided by 2 is 32. But please take note that 32 can be expressed as 2 raised to 5 because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 will give us 32. So we can rewrite this as r raised to 5 equals 2 raised to 5. And then after that, we get the fifth root of both sides. Okay? Fifth root of both sides in order for us to eliminate the exponent 5. So what remains is r. Ito naman will be 2. So therefore, the common ratio is 2. If that will be the case, then we can now insert the geometric means. So since the common ratio is 2, so therefore this will be 4. So 4 times 2 will give you 8. 8 times 2 will give you 16. 16 times 2 will give you 32. So therefore, the geometric means between 2 and 64 are 4, 8, 16, and 32. So this is your final answer. Okay, so let us try to consider the fourth problem. Insert three geometric means between 1 and 625. It means that we are going to insert three terms between 1 and 625. So we have the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, and the last term, 625. So we have here three geometric means between 1 and 625. So from that given, a sub 1 is 1. The number of terms is 5. The last term is a sub 5 because we have 5 terms, which is equal to 625. We need to find the common ratio in order for us to insert the three geometric means. But in order to find the ratio or the common ratio, we are going to use the formula a sub 5 equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. Substitute, so 625 equals 1 times the common ratio r raised to 5 minus 1. So we have here 625 equals r raised to 4. But please take note that 625 can be expressed as 5 raised to 4 because 5 raised to 4 is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, which is equal to 625. So from this equation, we can rewrite this as 5 raised to 4 equals r raised to 4. And then we get the fourth root of both sides. Okay, and then we are given r equals 5. So in other words, the common ratio here is 5. So we are ready to determine the geometric means. So since the first term is 1, just multiply it by 5. So we have 5. We are given 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And the last term is 625, which is 125 times 5. So the geometric mean or means between 1 and 625 are 5, 25, and 125. However, please take note that if you are going to get the fourth root of certain number, it should be plus or minus. So therefore, another term or another geometric means that can be inserted to 1 and 65 is this one. So we are given 1. Then, since another common ratio is negative 5, so 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. And then, negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. 25 times negative 5 is negative 125. And negative 125 multiplied by negative 5 will give us 625. So in other words, another set of geometric means will be negative 5, 25, and negative 125. So therefore, this is the final answer. Okay, so we are done with the geometric sequence, the geometric means. We are going to discuss now geometric series. And what is geometric series? It is just the sum of the geometric sequence. And there are two types of geometric series that we are going to discuss. One is the finite geometric series. Okay, pag sinabi natin finite, may katapusan. Okay, so example, 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus and so on, plus 128. So this is an example. This is an example of finite geometric series because it has a last term. And last term is 128. The other type of geometric series is the infinite geometric series. That means it has no end. Okay, we are going to add a geometric sequence without a last term. Example is 1 plus 3 plus 9 plus and so on. But in this example, it is impossible to determine the sum because we have no last term. But we are going to discuss an example of infinite geometric sequence that can be added. Later on, you are going to know the example. Okay, so we are going to have now the formula for finding the finite geometric series. So we have S of n equals a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. So ano ba yung S of n? S of n is the sum. A sub 1 is the first term. R is the common ratio provided that R is not equal to 0. And we are going to include, of course, nakalimutan ko dito, yung n. N means the number of terms. Okay, so number of terms. Okay, so let's try to have the first example. Find the sum of the geometric sequence 40, negative 20, 10, negative 5, 5 halves, and negative 5 over 4. Okay, so the formula that can be used here is S of n equals a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. And from the given, the first term is 40. The number of terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 number of terms or 6 terms. And the common ratio can be found by dividing negative 20 by 40. Or you can say 10 divided by negative 20. The result is negative 1/2. And then we substitute the given from the formula. So S of n equals 40 times 1 minus negative 1/2 raised to 6. Do not forget to enclose this in parentheses because 1/2 is negative. All over 1 minus negative 1/2. Therefore, we have 40 times 1 minus negative 1/2 raised to 6 will give us 1 over 64. This time it's positive, so kahit hindi mo na-enclose yan sa parenthesis. Divided by 1 plus 1 half. So this is equal to 40 times. Okay, we get the LCD of 1 and 64. So this is 64. 64 divided by 1 is 64 times 1 is 64. 64 divided by 64 is 1 times 1 is 1. Divided by 3 halves. Now, yung 1 plus 1 half is equal to 1 and 1 half. And yung 1 and 1 half can be expressed as improper fraction 3 halves. So, we are given S of n equals 40 times 64 minus 1 is 63 all over 64 divided by 3 halves. Then, if we are going to divide a number by a fraction, just get the reciprocal of the denominator and then you proceed to addition. So, pwede natin itong i-rewrite as 40 times 63 over 4 times 2/3. Yan. We can simplify. We know that 40 and 64 are both divisible by 8. So 40 divided by 8 is 5. 64 divided by 8 is 8. Likewise, 63 and 3 are both divisible by 3. So 63 divided by 3 is 21. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay? So isulat po muna natin ang product. 5 times 21 times 2 all over 8 times 1 is 8. But still, 2 and 1 are both divisible by 2. So you can cancel or you can divide 2 by 2 and 8 by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So all in all, if you are going to get the sum, 5 times 8 times 1, or sorry, 5 times 21 rather, times 1 is 105. And the remaining value in the denominator is 4. So the final answer is 105 all over 4. Okay, so let us try to check if the answer is the same if we are going to use the manual computation. We are given 40 minus 20 plus 10 minus 5 plus 5 halves minus 5 over 4. So this one, 40 minus 20 is 20. 10 minus 5 is 5. And then we just copy 5 halves and 5 over 4 later. We are going to solve this. So meron kang 20 plus 5, that would be 25 plus. Now, yung 5 over 2, let us try to change this fraction in such a way that the denominator is 4. So we can multiply 5 and 2 by 2. So 5 times 2 is 10, and then 2 times 2 is 4, and you are given 5 over 4. Likewise, we can multiply 25 by 4. By the way, the denominator here is 1, understood to be 1. We can multiply 25 by 4 and 1 by 4 in order to have same denominator. So we have 100 over 4, because 25 times 4 is 100. 1 times 4 is 4. And we are given 1 ay plus 10 over 4 minus 5 over 4. So para-pares ng denominator. Pwede na natin siyang i-add. Yung numerator. 100 plus 10 is 110. Minus 5 is 105. Then copy the denominator 4. So if you notice, we have the same answer doon sa previous natin na example. But the point is, ito kasi madaling i-solve kasi 6 lang yung terms. But what if you are given, say, 50 terms, 100 terms? So siguro ko the best way is to use the formula. Alright, so next example, find the sum of the first 5 terms of geometric sequence whose first term is 1 and the common ratio is 4. Now using the formula again, S of n equals a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. Now we need to find the value of a sub 1. The first term is 1. The number of terms, we are asked to find the sum of the first 5 terms. So let's say n equals 5. Then the common ratio is given, which is 4. So we are ready to use the formula. So 1 times 1 minus 4 raised to 5 divided by 1 minus 4. So this will be equivalent now to, so hindi ko na isusulat yung 1 ano dito. So magiging 1 minus, okay, 4 raised to 5 is 1024. So 4 raised to 5 means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So it will give you 1024. Okay? All over negative 3. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. So it will give us negative 1023 divided by negative 3. And negative 1023 divided by negative 3, it will give us 341. So final answer natin is 341 for this particular problem. Now, okay, so the next type is the infinite geometric series. We have a different formula for this because it is different from the previous example or previous kind of geometric series. So we have here S of n equals a sub 1 over 1 minus r. But the same ang meaning ng S of n. This is the sum. A sub 1 is the first term and the common ratio is r. But this time, it is important to note that r must be less than 1. Okay, so first example for the sum of the infinite geometric sequence. We have to find the sum of 3 over 10, 3 over 100, 3 over 1000, and so on. Okay, so this is an example of infinite geometric sequence because it has no end or no last term. So the first term here is 3 over 10. But we have no number of terms kasi nga wala tayong last term or wala tayong number of terms kasi infinite siya. So kukunin natin yung common ratio. The common ratio can be found by dividing the second term, so 3 over 100, by the first term, which is 3 over 10. And by using the rule of division of fraction, just copy the numerator, which is 3 over 100, and then get the reciprocal of the denominator, so 10 over 3, and then you proceed to multiplication. That's why multiplication yan. Cancel na ito. And then, ang 10 at 100 are both divisible by 10. So 10 divided by 10 is 1. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So you're given 1 over 10. So the common ratio is 1 over 10. So we are ready to use the formula. So S of n equals a sub 1 divided by 1 minus r. A sub 1 is 3 over 10. 1 minus 1 over 10 equals, just copy 3 over 10 all over. The LCD between 1 and 10 is 10. So 10 divided by 1 is 10 times 1 is 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1 times 1 is 1. So you are given 3 over 10 divided by 10 minus 1 is 9. Just copy 10. And the same process, This is numerator, denominator, and both are fraction. So just copy the the numerator, and then get the reciprocal of the denominator. So 9 over 10, reciprocal is 10 over 9. And then you proceed to multiplication. Then, in this case, you can cancel 10 here. And 3 and 9 are both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So therefore, the sum of 3 over 10, 3 over 100, 3 over 1000 is just 1/3. This is your final answer. Okay, so next example for the infinite geometric series. Find the sum of 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, and so on. So the first term here is 1/2. The common ratio here is also 1/2. The common ratio can be found by dividing 1/4 by 1/2. So just copy 1/4, but this time you need to get the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2 over 1, or simply 2, and then proceed to multiplication. So 2 divided by 4, or if you're going to get the lowest term of 2/4, it will give you 1/2. That's why the common ratio is 1/2. So S of n equals the first term all over 1 minus r. First term is 1/2. Then 1 minus 1/2. This will be equivalent to 1/2 all over 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. Now, therefore, if we are going to divide 1/2 by 1/2, lalabas doon is 1. So the sum of 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, and so on is just equal to 1. Okay, so we have the first problem for this topic. Find the sum of the first 7 terms of the geometric sequence 1, 3, 9, and so on. We are going to use the formula S sub n equals a sub 1 times 1 minus the common ratio raised to the number of terms n all over 1 minus r. So clearly, we need to find a sub 1, common ratio, and number of terms. From the given, the a sub 1, or the first term, is 1. The number of terms is 7 because we are asked to find the sum of the first 7 terms. And the common ratio can be obtained by dividing the second term by the first term, or maybe the third term by the second term, and the result is 3. So the common ratio is 3. Then substitute the given from the formula. We have now 1 times 1 minus the common ratio is 3 raised to 7 divided by 1 minus 3. Then this will be equivalent to, since 1 or any number multiplied by 1, so we can remove this. This will be equivalent to 1 minus 3 raised to 7 is just equal to 2,187. Okay, you may use your calculator or manual computation. Divided by 1 minus 3 means negative 2. So S of n equals, okay, so you subtract 1 by 2,187, the result is negative 2,186. Then divided by negative 2, so S of n equals, since the two numbers are negative, so the resulting sign will be positive, or we expect a positive sign. So 2,186 divided by 2 is 1,093. So this is now the sum of the first 7 terms of the geometric sequence 1, 3, 9, and so on. Okay, so number 2 example or problem. Find the sum of -2, 6, -18 up to -1458. In this problem, a sub 1 or the first term is -2. The common ratio is -3. That means 6 divided by -2. And we have no number of terms. Importante itong number of terms because in the formula, S of n equals a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n all over 1 minus r. So we need to find n first. So to find n, we are going to use this formula. A sub n equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. And the last term is -1458, so substitute. And the first term is -2 times the common ratio is -3 raised to n minus 1. We divide both sides by -2. You can cancel this. And what remains here is -3 raised to n minus 1. And here you are given 729. But please take note that 729 is just the same as positive 3 raised to 6 or -3 raised to 6. Okay? So, kahit pa yung -3, pag renace mo yan sa 6, it will give you positive 729. Then, we can use actually 729 as -3 raised to 6 here. This is equal to -3 raised to n minus 1 para parehas ang base nila. So it follows that 6 is equal to n minus 1. We just transpose. So n equals 6 plus 1, which is equal to 7. Thus, we are ready to solve or to find the sum of the given geometric sequence. So the first term here is -2 again. 1 minus the common ratio is -3 raised to 7 all over 1 minus -3. So give us -2 times 1 minus -3 raised to 7 is -2187 all over 1 plus 3. So the sum is -2 times 1 plus 2187 divided by 4. So S of n equals -2 times 2188 divided by 4. But obviously, since 2188 is divisible by 4, then we can divide this one by 4. So, ang lalabas ay S of n equals -2 times 547 divided by 1. Or you can say -2 times 547. So the sum is -1094. So this is your final answer. Okay, so the third example is about infinite geometric series. We have find the sum of 3/4, 3 over 8, 3 over 16, and so on. In this case, the first term is 3/4. The common ratio is 1/2. Bakit 1/2? Because we just divide 3 over 8 by 3/4. And then you are given 3 over 8 times 4/3. Then cancel mo lang po ito. And then 4 and 8 are both divisible by 4. So ito is 1, ito ay 2. So all in all, we are given 1/2. That's why the common ratio is 1/2. So the formula is S of n equals the first term over 1 minus common ratio. So first term is 3/4 all over 1 minus 1/2. So S of n equals 3/4 over 1/2 because 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. And then you just get the reciprocal of the denominator and we proceed to multiplication. So copy 3/4 times 2 over 1 or simply 2. And it will give us yung 2 tapos yung 4 are both divisible by 2. So ito magiging 1, ito magiging 2. So it will give us 3 halves or 1 and 1/2. So therefore, the sum is 3 halves or 1 and 1/2. So kung i-add mo yan lahat, it will give you 3 halves or 1 and 1/2. Okay, so another geometric or infinite geometric series. Find the sum of 24, 4, 2/3, 1 over 9. So the first term is 24 and the common ratio is 1 over 6. So 1 over 6 can be found 4 over 24. Diba? So 4 and 24 are both divisible by 4. So it will give you 1. 24 divided by 4 will give you 6. So that's why the common ratio is 1 over 6. So using the formula, S of n equals A sub 1 all over 1 minus R. So A sub 1 is 24. 1 minus 1 over 6 equals 24 over, okay. In this case, 6 is the LCD. 6 divided by 1 is 6 times 1, so 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1 times 1, you are given 1. So we are given S of n equals 24 over 6 minus 1 is 5 divided by 6. Copy 24 and then multiply it by the reciprocal of 5 over 6, which is 6 over 5. So lalabas natin dyan. Yan. Since wala naman tayong pwedeng i-divide sa numerator at sa denominator, we are going to multiply 24 by 6. So we have 144 all over 5 or 28 and 4/5. Okay, so this is now your final answer. Thank you very much for listening and for your patience. If you have questions or clarification, please leave your message below. Bye-bye.